Hi, my name is Deacon Chris St. Clair, and I live in San Antonio, Texas, in the United States of America. And I am a deacon in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America at Triumphant Lutheran Church. All right, my first question. What is your diaconal work ministry focus? So as a deacon at Triumphant Lutheran Church, my two main focuses are faith formation and service. I do a lot of work planning events and activities for youth and for families, things like mission trips, retreats, other activities, those kinds of things. I also help my congregation think through the ways that it serves, the partnerships that we have in the community, and the ways in which we serve, be it being stewards of time or our finances or being advocates in different ways. But I help our congregation think through the ways in which we are the hands and feet of the church. So the second question, what image of diaconia is important to you? I'm going to give two answers because I'm not entirely sure which one you are more or less looking for. One is more historical and one is a little bit more of a personal one. So the question of what image of diaconia is important to you. So the image of diaconia that is most important to me is that image of basin and towel, of foot washing. The two main things that stand out with that is sort of my role within that expression of love. First is that oftentimes the one that is doing the work is nameless, is sort of invisible to an extent. And so knowing that the work that I do is not about self-promotion, about people seeing the work that I do, but it's about being the mediator of God's love, of God's grace. And so understanding that that is my role there. The other image that is helpful for that I like with that basin and towel is the vulnerability that happens in the relationship there. It's a vulnerable experience to not just wash someone else's feet, but to let someone else wash my feet. And so the way in which people entrust me to invite them to be vulnerable, to be open to what God is doing in the world, and to serve them in that capacity. So that's why that image of diaconia stands out to me. So another image of diaconia that stands out to me, hold on, I'm going to start that one over. Another image of diaconia that stands out to me is more of a personal image, and that's the image of docent or guide. As someone who walks alongside of someone to point out the things that they may not know or the things that they need to be aware of as they go forward. In my work here at my congregation, I do that a lot with youth. I do things that show them what God is doing in the world, that I help them understand how God is speaking, the ways in which we can pray, that we can participate in the church, that we can be a part of God's word, and the ways in which I can be a guide for them alongside of their journey, helping them to notice things and understand things like their giftedness and the ways in which God is calling them to serve. I also do that with adults through our service. I highlight the ways in which we serve. I talk about the ways in which we serve. I also point out the ways in which we can grow. And I act as a guide with our leadership here, with other adults here as they are exploring their own giftedness, their own sense of vocation, and the ways in which God might be speaking in and through them. And so that image of docent or guide is also an important image for me.
Hi, I'm Deacon Tara Ulrich, and I serve Tri-County Ministry. I live in Mackville, North Dakota. What led me into the diaconate? I am the daughter of a woman who lives daily with a mental illness. After my parents' divorce, I especially saw how the world treated my mom, how the church treated my mom, and how she was often seen as an outsider. The first time I heard Frederick Buechner's quote, "The place God calls you to be is the place where the world's deep hunger and your deep gladness meet," really hit home for me. I felt like I was being called to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to pick up basin and towel and to wash the feet of all those who are often seen as outsiders, especially like my mama. What image of diaconia is important to me? The image of diaconia that is most important to me is a bridge. To be the bridge between the church and the world, and between the world and the church. To move beyond the sanctuary walls and to be God's hands and feet in the world. It's a reminder that we're all linked together, just like a bridge.